I'm going to bring you some business news now on the programme, and Stephen Carroll is with us here on set. Stephen, you've been looking back, haven't you, at the moment when oil prices went negative. The reason for that is it's a year ago today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it was one of those moments that was a huge shock amid so much that was going on at this time last year. And what happened was it was a perfect storm of oversupply, crashing demand because of those first lockdowns linked to the pandemic, and a shortage of storage space for oil in the United States. The result was the largest one-day plunge on record when West Texas Intermediate fell by over 300% in a single day. When trading ended in New York that day, oil was priced at minus $37. Oil traders describe this moment as oil not just hitting rock bottom, but breaking the rock.
And what's happened since then?
So the negative price slump was partly due to trading crunch at the end of a period where contracts are being sold for oil to be delivered the following month. And because of this shortage in storage, the issue was that there was going to be no space to put it in. So that's where it hit that minus $37 mark. It has recovered since, partly when that window closed, prices were able to recover, but also because demand has recovered since then as well. If you think about economies like China that are back functioning kind of at pre-pandemic levels, big demand for oil there, and that's helping. So we've seen WTI climb to about $64 a barrel at the start of today. Now, the International Energy Agency is forecasting that oil demand will increase this year. They're saying around 6 million barrels a day. That'll increase by. Those trading in the market say that negative oil prices are unlikely to return, but if there's ever a major shock event like the arrival of COVID-19, it's possible that it could happen again.
OK, we shall see. Now, next to a British study. This is about remote working, something that many of us have, of course, been doing. The impact, though, on the actual hours that people do work.
The research by the Office for National Statistics found that people working from home last year put in an average of 6 hours unpaid overtime per week. That's more than double the amount of those who were working on site. Remote workers also took fewer sick days, the equivalent of 2 per year compared to 4 for others. But the ONS noted that before the pandemic, people working from home tended to be paid around 7% less. That gap did close, though, last year.
Fascinating stuff. Let's turn to the travel industry now. More big losses. This is at an American airline.
United Airlines lost almost $1.4 billion in the first 3 months of 2021, despite the return to domestic travel. The company says it won't return to profitability until business and international travel resume to 2/3 of their pre-pandemic levels. On Monday, United announced it would operate flights to Greece, Croatia and Iceland in July. Now, meanwhile, Greece has lifted quarantine requirements for incoming travellers from the EU and the US. That's for people who were either vaccinated or have tested negative for coronavirus. Visitors will still be subject to local restrictions, which include the closure of bars and restaurants. Greece is hoping to reopen fully in time for its summer season with the help of a targeted vaccination programme. Erin Ogunkeye has the story.
8 hours away from Athens by boat, Forni has only recently developed as a tourist destination. Anxiety about the coronavirus here has nearly disappeared. Even wearing masks is optional. A month ago, nearly all of the island's 700 adult residents were vaccinated.
Δηλαδή δεν έχουμε το άγχος μην έρθει κανένας που έχει κορονοϊό και κολλήσουμε, αλλά καλό θα είναι και το υπόλοιπο το 15% να εμβολιαστεί.
Life is essentially back to normal in Forni, the result of a decision by the Greek government to prioritize vaccinating nearly 70 small Greek islands over larger ones.
Και τα μικρά νησιά δεν έχουν τις ανέσεις που έχει ένα μεγάλο νησί, όπως έχει Σάμος με νοσοκομείο. Επομένως, πρέπει να δώσουμε εκεί βάση, έτσι ώστε να ενισχύσουμε το σύστημα υγείας εκεί, με εμβολιασμούς, ώστε να υποδεχτούν και τους τουρίστες στο επόμενο καλοκαίρι.
By May 14th, Greece will reopen its borders to all tourists who are vaccinated or have negative coronavirus tests. This hotel on Forni has been vacant for 8 months, but ahead of its reopening, reservations are picking up.
It says that it's great that you have a COVID vaccine. They feel very safe that they are going to come in August.
After nearly a year on hold, the stakes of bringing tourists back to Greece are high. The industry is worth more than a fifth of the Greek economy.
And finally, from Stephen, a familiar sight is returning to the streets of New York.
Yeah, as the city reopens, the legendary Village Voice newspaper has returned to print for the first time since 2017. Now, it was shut down for more than 2 years in the interim, restarted online in January of this year. The new owner plans to publish a print version around 4 times a year for now. New Yorkers, including the journalist Harry Siegel, have welcomed its return at a time when local media is under huge financial pressure. It's got some Village Voice staples, including attacking some of the worst landlords in New York.
Okay, there has to be something like that in there, doesn't there? Okay, thank you very much, Stephen Carroll, with Business News here on France 24.